It's finally here. It's Tuesday, 8 p.m. It's time for CCUK Resin Q&A Live, sponsored by apexresin.co.uk. Don't forget, use my discount code CCUK, save some money. That's right. Tonight and every Tuesday at 8 p.m. we're going live on the only resin talk show where you meet your favorite artists and creators behind the gloves. CCUK Resin Q&A Live. We'll be talking with fellow resin artists and creators and answering all of your questions live. Make sure you stick around. Ask all your questions in caps lock. Get involved, share this video with your friends and family, and enjoy the show. And with that, I'd also like to take a moment to say a massive thank you to everyone that supported this channel, guests, sponsors, members, and subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you. We all grow together. The more questions you ask, the better the live will be. So be creative and ask away. Make sure at the end of the video you give it a thumbs up and comment. That's how we all keep growing. But for now, sit back, grab a drink, relax, and enjoy the show. It's finally here. It's Tuesday, 8 p.m. It's time for CCUK Resin Q&A Live, sponsored by apexresin.co.uk. Don't forget, use my discount code CCUK, save some money. That's right. Tonight and every Tuesday at 8 p.m. we're going live on the only resin talk show where you meet your favorite artists and creators behind the gloves. CCUK Resin Q&A Live. We'll be talking with fellow resin artists and creators and answering all of your questions live. Make sure you stick around. Ask all your questions in caps lock. Get involved, share this video with your friends and family, and enjoy the show. And with that, I'd also like to take a moment to say a massive thank you to everyone that supported this channel, guests, sponsors, members, and subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you. We all grow together. The more questions you ask, the better the live will be. So be creative and ask away. Make sure at the end of the video you give it a thumbs up and comment. That's how we all keep growing. But for now, sit back, grab a drink, relax, and enjoy the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Another CCUK Resin Q&A Live, and I'm excited for tonight. This is the third live I've done in 2 days, as you can tell by these eyes. So apologies for that. I've already been told by Sandy backstage I need to get some collagen things, I think, for my eyes, and that will help. But I'm really excited for tonight because we have got Sandy on from Two Fat Birds Creative, and I've been speaking to her for ages in Discord, and I'm glad we all get to meet her. So, without further ado, hello, Sandy.
Hello.
How are you?
Hands.
Yeah. They are. That's how you can tell it's really you, by the hands.
That's right.
How's your day going?
It's going well. More
Good.
well now that I'm here.
I was going to say, hopefully better now.
Yes.
I've had a real busy one today, so but I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you're on as well because, as I said, we've been talking for months back on Discord and things like that. Yeah. But it's lovely to actually meet you. And I think we've got quite a few coming in already. We've already got 26 in.
Nice.
So I think people want to hear about you. And here's a bit of an announcement before we start. So let me see if I can get this comment up. The new mod starting next week. I just need to set everything up. So we will have another mod as we're going to multiple platforms. Is going to be the Resonator, aka Jules. So welcome on board the mod team. You don't get paid, but it is good fun. So, but no. Let's hear more about your channel. I've got a few questions I want to ask, but I'm sure the audience will as well. So just remember, everybody in the audience, if you want to ask any questions, hi, Olga, nice to see you, then make sure you put them in caps lock. That way, one of the mods sends them across to me. You don't see this, but I've got my phone here at the side, and I get all of the questions in order. Then I get told off for not doing them in order. But that's how we keep track of the questions. So put them in caps lock. And I say this is all about you, Sandy. So tell us about your channel. Tell us what it is, first of all, and what started you off in resin and YouTube.
All right. Well, my channel is Two Fat Birds Creative. The name just came from my wife and myself. We love fat birds.
Okay.
It started with two Christmas ornaments. They're not ornaments, just little statues of two giant fat cardinals. And one day we were just trying to think of starting a business, and we're thinking of business names, and just popped into my head, what about Two Fat Birds? Because we're fat and we're ladies, so we're birds. And that's how it came up.
Wow.
And she needs to get back into her photography. And so this will segue into how I started resin.
Okay.
We moved from Nashville, Tennessee to Michigan. I'm originally from Michigan. And we're moving back, well, back for me. And our basement needs a new floor. And so I was like, all right, well, let me look up how to get those resin floors. And I was watching, what is it called? Stone. Totally blanking on the name. It's a well-known name. They do floors a lot, make resin for floors a lot. And I was watching a bunch of their stuff, excuse me. And then I saw him make coasters with his leftover resin.
Okay.
I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. And then it just went down a rabbit hole on YouTube. Stone Coat, I think is what it's called. And down this rabbit hole on YouTube, finding Claire, finding Daniel, finding Julie Cuts, finding all these people. And that's how I ended up starting and getting into resin. First with Daniel, and I started with the Petrie. I just started with the Petrie effect. Instead of a nice,
the same as my journey, actually. Yeah. That's what I started with.
Yeah, instead of a nice, simple one-color pour, I was like, no, I'm going to go for this Petrie effect over here. So yeah.
How did it go, the first one?
It went well. I don't know which exactly my first piece is, but I have a couple. I'll try to show it, see if you can.
Oh, wow. That's a bit similar to the flame effect, that.
Yeah, so these are some of the very early ones that I did. Kind of got a glare.
Wow. Yeah, I can see the Petrie swirl.
Yeah. So, those were a few of the first ones. Was this one? This one's kind of a little flamey one, but.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah. So those were some of the first ones I got into, and I didn't know jack about PPE or anything. I'm sitting in my living room, just let's resin and pouring in, and I had a fan blowing back through an open window behind me, and that was how I started.
Wow. I think we all learn a lot in those first few weeks and months.
Oh yeah. Now I'm
being told off by Lisa again on my phone here. So she's telling me I should be able to make Jules a mod now. So give me 2 seconds. Carry on telling people about your journey, about your channel, and I'm going to see if I can make Jules a mod in this particular show at the same time.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how I started. Started with the Petrie, and then I started watching more with Julie Cuts and Claire's Crafty Corner, and Toonpish, Wendy over at Toonpish, and just fell in love with all of them and doing all the resin funness. And now I have a very large collection of mostly Temu molds and several different resins, and got into Resin Crete, got the new Bond Crafter casting compound, casting powder, the gypsum powder, and just really having fun.
Good.
Trying to make stuff. Now, my journey, I was not on YouTube. I just celebrated my first year with YouTube, but I had been with resin prior to that. And even the first probably half the year, I was not posting consistently.
Yeah.
So that really just started in January.
So when did you start, I suppose, seeing growth? Because again, I've looked through your stats. I've seen, I think you're on 646 subscribers now. Is that right?
I think so, yeah.
So you're not far from that 1,000. What changed to make you start having that growth?
It was the consistent posting. Excuse me, posting every week. And I first started posting Saturdays, and then I went to Wednesdays and Saturdays. And I'm keeping the Wednesdays and Saturdays, but then I'll usually throw in the Froggy Friday.
That's pretty much the same as my schedule, except for the Tuesdays and the additional lives that I just throw up whenever.
Yeah.
When I get bullied into it on one of these lives, can you do another one straight after? No. So have you, by the way, we've got up to 33 now, so I think we're getting a few more coming in. So hello, everyone. Hello, everyone on Insta as well, or Facebook. Feel free to comment. We should get them through now. I've set it up if it's worked correctly. But yeah, have you got a certain technique that's your favorite?
Yes. It's actually the Resincrete.
Okay.
I just pulled one aside right here. Fancy that. And this is because I saw Sally do this, All Aboard Resin Creations.
Yeah.
So I don't think she originated it, but she's who I saw it first with. And it's the kind of the geode
effect.
That's my favorite to do.
It's lovely. I've not tried it yet, so I might have to do that at some point.
And I want to play with it more with actual resin too and see what I can do. I mean, obviously it's not going to get that texture like it will in Resincrete, but I still want to see what I can do with it.
Try mixing the two.
Oh yeah.
And then you might get a bit of a combination effect then, and then you might still get the texture because it does come out a bit more like ceramic. So it might work, it might not. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll have to give it a go.
Yeah, Sandy's come prepared with pieces. She's probably got 20 pieces next to her that she's going to just show on the screen as we go.
Not 20, no.
Not 20. I've only got one this week. That's it. I'm not showing off this week. It was just literally that one canvas that I did last night on the live, which I loved. And I think it came out really cool. So
it's an awesome piece.
Yeah, and I didn't like it originally, the original part. So that's why I thought, you know what? I'm not giving up. I'm just going to put another layer in. And I love it now. So that's now one of my favorites. I need to figure out if I'm going to stick something on it or if I'm just going to leave it as it is.
It's your choice, man. What you going to do?
That's the thing, though. So I worked on the Phoenix one behind me, but sometimes I think it can ruin the art.
Yeah, sometimes you can go overboard. You just keep messing, and then you're like, oh no.
My biggest problem is I don't know when to stop. Yeah. And I've done this on a few projects where they've looked amazing, and then I've just gone, oh, what about if I add this? I start adding it, and I'm like, oh, what have I done? But I think it's part of the creative process.
Yeah.
So with your channel then, you're at 646. I'm guessing your first goal is to get to that 1,000.
Yes.
Yep.
And
then what? What do you want to do with it after?
Well, I need to get my watch hours.
Okay.
They're under 2,000 right now. They're 19 something. So
but again, that's pretty comparable with where you are subscribers wise.
Yeah.
Really. So by the time you've got those extras, and I'm sure after the show, everybody's going to be subscribing to you and helping out and watching your playlists on repeat. Come on, guys, we can do it. And I think by doing that, that's one of the things I love about these is more people get to know you, more people get to know your channel. They follow you, hopefully they subscribe, and then we all keep growing. And I think that's the plan. So it's good. And I think we get a good mix of smaller channels and bigger channels. And that brings the whole community together as one, hopefully.
Yep.
So tell me about your first disaster. You must have had one.
Spilling stuff all over.
We've all had one of those.
Right. It was resin, and I was moving something into the curing machine. I think it was snowflakes, and they went and resin went everywhere, including on my face mask. No, I didn't have it on. I had one set off to the side and it just went everywhere. It was a big mess.
How did you clean it up?
Oh, a lot of baby wipes, a lot of alcohol, a lot of paper towel.
It's a lot easier to do when it's still wet.
Yeah, luckily it had also fallen into a cardboard box, so it didn't get on the floor.
Yeah.
It just went over everything in the box.
That's very lucky. I mean, I actually spilt some on my laminate floor, and I didn't realize until the next day when it had all cured. And I tried alcohol, didn't work. In the end, I had to literally scrape it off, and then it ruined the laminate floor. So I had to relay about a quarter of my floor. Yeah. But yeah.
I wonder if you could have heated it.
Maybe. I didn't think of that at the time. I just got a scraper and scraped it off. And then with it being laminate, it's a thin laminate, that just came off. And I was like, oops.
Yeah. My other disaster was pouring resin-crete on the floor. And it was colored green. So I have a lovely light green stain on the floor now.
Well, I've got a rug behind me because, again, this chair's on laminate floor, and I don't want the wheels to scratch all the laminate floor, which I put down. So I've got a rug, and it's covered in black resin. And basically, I don't know if you remember, a few months ago, I did my first 3D Bloom table. And everything looked level. Everything looked fine. It was curing. And then the leg just flipped out like that. And I was like, no!
Oh,
and literally black resin all over the carpet. So luckily it's a rug, though.
Yeah, that's good. I recently got a new chair mat that this chair is under. So I took the old one that's like cracking and just, it's a mess. But I moved it over to under the chair at the craft table. So that way, if anything else starts falling, at least there's something else it can fall onto. Yeah,
I think especially when you do it indoors in like a living space like this, you really need to think about it because you are going to get drips at some point. No matter what you do, you'll get overexcited, or you'll tap something, or your phone will be doing something whilst you're recording, and you will get drips at places. So I'm glad there's loads of tips coming in from everybody, pretty much saying what you said: heat it up and then scrape. So I'll remember that next time. So, we have had a quick question come through, though, from Ingrid. And she wants to know, what editing software do we both use? So which one do you use?
I use CapCut.
Any others?
Suno for AI music.
Okay.
And Canva for my covers and final pictures.
Okay. I'm the same, by the way. I use CapCut now. I used to use Filmora. Wondershare, which I think is the one that Michelle uses from Glitz and Glitter, I think, off the top of my head. But they kept upping the price every month. So, and it was because they kept adding features. And I was like, yeah, okay, update. And every time it did that, the price went up. And I was like, okay, I'm not doing that anymore. For me, you've got to just find an editor that you're comfortable with. And CapCut, once I'd got it on the desktop, I think it's brilliant. And there's lots of special little features on it. Some of them I use, some of them I don't. But it's just quite simple. And again, I'm the same as you, where I still use Canva for other things like my thumbnails and stuff like that. And I've just started experimenting with a new app with my thumbnails, you may have noticed. But that cost me a lot of money. So I'm weighing up whether it's worth it or not, whether I'm going to get any more views.
I don't know what you're talking about. New thumbnails. What?
Have you not seen any?
No, I have.
I think they're hilarious, some of them. Yeah. And obviously, it does utilize AI, but I know there's a lot of people that don't like AI, but there's certain things that I think are brilliant about it. And it's things like that where actually I use it as another art form to be creative on, because you've still got to edit all of the prompts and things like that to get what you want. Yeah. And that's an art in itself. Otherwise, you won't get the result you want. And what I'm trying to do is, even if it's an AI image, I still put in what colors I'm using in the project and things like that. So it's a likeness of what you're actually going to see in the video, because I don't want any of them to be clickbait. I think that's when it's wrong. So, Jules is asking as well if either of us pay for CapCut.
I do. I didn't when I first started, but I do now, and only because I can't adjust the sound so that when I have my mask on, you're going to actually hear me. Yeah. If I didn't pay for it. So. Yeah. Mine's
paid for as well. I think There's don't get me wrong, there's lots of free features on there, which is great if you're starting out. But you will be tempted to upgrade. And I think it's only like £11 a month, I think it is.
I know I did the full year.
Okay.
At once.
You get a discount for doing that. That's probably the best way.
Yeah. And I had money at the time. I don't got it now, but I had it then.
Yeah. So, and that's what we were talking actually briefly before the show. And I was just talking about don't expect too much when you go monetized, because it's not a lot of money. It's and I think obviously it depends how many views you get. You're probably going to get 10 times more than me, but we'll see. But it's not a lot, and I still, even now, spend more on the softwares and the editing and things like that than what the channel generates.
Yeah.
One day, though, one day. And then I'll have to pay it all to the tax man.
That's true. They got to get their share.
So we've talked about your favorite technique. What is your least favorite technique?
Right now it's blooms, just because I'm so bad at them.
Okay. What do you mean by bad?
Oh, I just make it too heavy. If I try to use mica, just a mica bloom, it's just too heavy. I make the white too heavy.
What resin are you using? What thickness?
It's a medium viscosity.
Okay.
I've used Let's Resin. I think my last one I might have used Bond Crafter.
Okay.
Not sure. It's just not practicing enough with them. I'm sure, I'll practice more. I'll get better more, but they just frighten me a little.
What I found is I use a medium viscosity resin now. So I use the standard Apex resin for like my alcohol blooms with just alcohol inks, because they're not as heavy. Yeah. If I use pigments or if I use mica, I use their fast cure. And that's because it's thicker. So I think it stops that blobbing effect more. So it might be worth you experimenting with that. And obviously your temperatures make a massive difference with that as well. Yeah.
But I wonder with the fast cure, will it still bloom as much and spread out as much?
It does. But that's why normally if I'm using a fast cure, if I'm using a medium viscosity resin, I'll probably wait for about 36 degrees Celsius. If I'm using a fast cure, I'll start it a bit sooner. So I'll start at about 33. And I think that just gives it a bit more time to do the full bloom.
Gotcha. Yep.
So try it out. Let me know if it works.
Definitely. Yep.
So hang on. We've got another question from Steph. Did you enjoy your holiday?
I did enjoy my holiday. Thank you.
Where did you go?
We went to Florida. We have I call her Framily. Not family by blood, but chosen. And
very close friend that you've chosen as family.
Yep. Got to see her son. He just turned 21, and we hung out with her at the pool and at the beach. And then we did a day at Epcot and a half day at Disney Springs. So very fun. Wow.
Now, again, I'd love to go to Florida one day. That's it's on my bucket list. Yeah. To be fair, I've got about 20 different locations in the States that are on my bucket list that I need to go to for different reasons. So I need to get myself over there on a plane, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, UK's on my bucket list, so.
Is it? Well, let me know when you come, and we'll meet up IRL.
Definitely.
Kerry's asking what you record on, camera or phone?
My only problem with this is memory.
Yeah.
And my OneDrive memory. Yeah. Once my OneDrive starts getting too full, it affects my camera and it just stops. I'll be filming and I didn't even know it stopped. So my last, my video that's going out tomorrow has a few chunks missing, shall we say.
Special editing.
Yeah. Yes.
But no, I'm the same. I've got, I think this was an iPhone 14 that I mainly use for recording. And then I've got an upgraded one, which is my normal phone, which I'll sometimes use from out and about. Yeah. And there's not much difference between the picture quality, because I tried 2 different videos and I asked people if they could tell the difference and they couldn't. And I think for me, it's a lot easier than spending a lot of money on a digital camera that's going to give you the same quality.
Yeah. I mean, I only have this phone. So it's my all-in-one phone. But I do have, I'm going to try to find I have a little camera and try to start filming with that more and see how that works.
Well, I think memory problem. I had you said you had problems with the memory on your phone. I had no end of, and I've got a reasonably newish laptop. I've had it for 2 years, but as soon as I started editing videos with CapCut, I didn't realize that they were 3 or 4 gigs each if it's a 30-minute video.
Yeah.
And very quickly, I had no space and no memory. So I had to update that. And that cost me a bit of money to update the laptop. But now I think I trebled my memory in the laptop and it works perfectly. So
Nice.
again, if you save too many on your laptop, it's not great. So what I do is I do a backup of each video just in case anybody ever tries to hack the channel. And I've got an external hard drive, but I download them from YouTube, so they're not 3 gig. And it's lesser quality, but if needs be and something happened to my channel, I've still got them at some point.
Yeah, I just got a new 2 terabyte external drive. I apparently filled up my 1 terabyte one. And that's when I move all my pictures, like any pictures, not just resin, but move all my pictures over to that. And then all of my YouTube stuff is now saved and moved over there as well. And then I can delete it off my Google photo area. I have everything backed up going to Google Photos. So then I can delete it off my phone, clear up space there, then download everything off of Google Photos into CapCut on my computer and work it from there and save them all in separate folders. And
it's amazing how much space they take, though. You don't realize until you start. Video takes a lot of space. And then if you've got fancy thumbnails, they take up more space. Then if you've got your what's everyone calling glamour shots of the piece afterwards that you add on the end, they take up more space. And it's amazing how much space they take. But Tim's asking if you've tried Bond Crafter for blooms.
I think I tried my last one with Bond Crafter. I'm not sure, but I do have Bond Crafter, so I will be going at it again.
Yeah, and again, keep playing with resins until you get one that you like. I've got all of the Apex ones now, and I use them all for different projects, and I get different effects in different pieces.
Oh yeah, I just saw Petty hop on.
She is.
I love trying to emulate the crackle effect that I see her do a lot.
Oh, she's amazing with her latest trays that I've seen as well. They're stunning. And I tell you what, it really worries me how good her piece is going to be on the 27th for that collaboration. And I'm like, am I going to get embarrassed here at just how good their pieces are going to be? But whilst we're on that as well, if anybody wants to get involved in that, go to Petty's Home Art. Have a look. She's put a post out on Instagram and on YouTube about the collaboration, which is on the 27th of July. So make sure you get those pours in. The rules are in there as well. You have to use green. Just saying. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like green. And there's 3 other colours that we're all going to put in a bloom. Do it as a massive collaboration and see what we get. You know, it's going to be fun. Are you going to get involved in that, Sandy?
Maybe.
I think you should. I think you should try it with one of these new tips.
Yeah. Okay, I will.
Yeah. It can't. And worst thing is, if it goes wrong, guess what? You pour again.
Yeah.
It's like that what I did for Renee the other week. That was number 4. But it's part of the fun, I think, is getting those failures. So when you get a success, you can celebrate it.
Can really celebrate it, yeah. And be like, I went from this to this.
Exactly. I'm going to do a video like that. My worst, my best. Although I've done that the other week with Meth Bear, so that was fun.
Meth Bear.
I don't know who gave him that name. I can't remember, but that's his name now. It's not changing. So Amy's asking as well, have you got a favourite hymn or song?
A favourite hymn or song? Oh. Well, Amy, was that for me or was that for Andy? I saw
that's a good point, Amy. Yeah, you're going to have to put it in.
Through saying that.
Oh, it could be for both of us and everybody. Apparently, that's just greedy, Amy.
Him, I'm going to say actually Amazing Grace, but that's just because of a family is my mom's favorite. And I sang it at my grandfather's funeral and stuff like that. But I'm really a musical theater girl. So one of my most favorite songs is from a musical called Ragtime, and it's called Back to Before.
Okay, I've not heard of that. I might have to look it up.
Yep, definitely do. I love it. The artist that sang it in the original Broadway production, her name was Marin Mazzie.
Okay.
She's since passed away, but beautiful.
Oh, I'll look it up. But no, and for me, I'll be honest with you, hymn wise, I'm going to have to go back to when I was a child because, again, I don't attend church or anything anymore. But when I was a child, I used to go to a Christian academy abroad. And again, Amazing Grace, I have to agree, it's by far my favorite. And I used to love singing it. It was one of my shower songs. But now my shower songs are a little bit more, I don't know, different, I would say. And it's modern sort of dance music and stuff like that I listen to now. So it's a little bit different.
Singing some Sia in the shower.
Pretty much, yeah. Or some David Guetta, something like that, to get me energized in the morning. Lula's saying, do you still sing as well? Do you still sing now?
No. I have maybe an audition in August to join a friend's SSA, all women's choir. I don't know if I'm going to or not. I've just got a lot of tension and stress in my neck that makes it a little more hurtful to sing for me. So that's why I had stopped. So
okay,
if I can get that fixed, maybe
we'll get you and Tim doing a duet on a video. That would be amazing. Go.
Come on, Tim, let's go.
Yeah, I think Tim will be up for that. And you've heard how terrible. Well, if you probably haven't actually, unless you saw the short I put out the weekend. That's how terrible my singing is now. It's not great.
I'm gonna have to go pull that up.
I always sound better in a shower. And I always said if I go on X Factor or something like that, I'd have to have a shower cubicle around me for the acoustics. And here we have the shower cubicle from the UK, Andy. Oh dear. Amy's asking as well, have you ever been in any productions?
Not on Broadway per se, but I've done a lot of community theater over time. Okay. So yeah, I've done Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. I was the narrator. I've done Nonsense.
Okay.
Twice. I've done Sound of Music a couple times. Grease. Several others that I'm forgetting. I did an opera.
Whenever I hear your name, it reminds me of Grease. For obvious reasons.
Right.
And when I was at school, and this is obviously when I was 16, so at least 5 years ago now, I was actually Danny Zuko in like the school play.
Nice.
And I'll never forget it because back then I could sing. I try it now and it's just like, no, it's not going to work anymore.
Do you got chills? Are they multiplying?
I prefer the one where he's really sad though when they break up on the swing. And he's like, I said, I wonder why. That one. But there we go. That's enough singing from me. Sorry if that's put you off. Please watch the rest of the live. It gets better. Tim saying shower singing is the best due to the humidity. It's always good for vocal health.
Lord, I keep my shower nice and hot, so I know I'm getting some humidity up in there. So
yeah. And again, I probably don't help my voice because I smoke. That's never a good thing.
No, bad.
Very naughty. And I guess you were banned from TikTok, I've recently found. So don't ever do that on a live, is all I'll say. Not good. So have I missed any? I don't think I've missed any questions, so that's good. Have you got any questions for me? I'm going to start asking this every time now.
Oh no! So I actually missed your update on Meth Bear. So
you didn't see that?
I did not see that one. So where's the new Meth Bear? The unmeth bear.
I don't know. The Meth Bear's still the same. He's still here.
Yeah.
He's never changing. I love him the way he is. And it's a permanent reminder that experiments don't always work out. But it wasn't really an updated Meth Bear. It was. Have you seen The Lion?
Yes.
Because that's what I'm saying is the good. So this is the first time I tried one of these big molds, and I went a little bit crazy. But the second time with that lion, I can look at that lion for hours.
Yeah.
And it sounds strange, but I can look at it for hours.
Yep.
I think they're all saying that I should start singing Barbie girl now in the chat by Aqua. I prefer Dr. Jones by Aqua, thank you. And it also reminds me of a beer when they go IPIA, IPIA, because there's a beer called IPIA, IPA, what a drink. So it wasn't as popular back then. A meth beer is now named Roadkill, according to Amy.
Nice.
He does look flat, to be fair. I think it does look like something has ran him over as well on his nose, but
yeah,
hey-ho.
A little bit.
So with regards to when you first started, then you mentioned a few artists that you sort of followed and you sort of learnt from. Is there anybody that sort of inspires you now? Because obviously there's been that many new artists on YouTube.
Still all the same people, plus all the people in the Discord groups. Everybody is so wonderful. I learned something from everybody. So.
Which is the best thing about the community, I think, is 99.9% of this community is amazing. You know, we share the knowledge. We're not selfish with it. We say, here you go. This is what we did. Go and create, see what you can do. And even the bigger artists, they say exactly the same. It's like often Daniel Cooper at the end of his videos, he says, right, now let's see what you can do with it. Let's see what we can all do together.
Yep.
And you don't get that in many other art YouTube communities.
Yeah.
Because again, I've looked at a few of these before I got into resin, and there's a lot where they deliberately miss steps out on videos and stuff like that because they want it to be their technique. I personally, if anybody's watching this back and wants to copy any of my techniques that I've done, go for it. You know, I want to see what people can do with it. And that's how we all grow together and develop new techniques, because I'm sure the bloom, for example, was probably a mistake by somebody at some point. And then they went, oh, God, that looks like a flower. That's amazing. Yeah, look, the bloom technique. And again, with the, was it the lacing effect, the most recent one that went a little bit viral? Again, I bet you that was a mistake by somebody at some point, but they liked the effect.
Yeah, I don't know. I know the woman I think is on Instagram that did that lacing effect.
Yeah.
I think that then became the viral.
Yeah, I think she did it on Instagram. It went viral. And then I think Julie Cutts picked it up as well and went, oh, well, actually, I've seen this. I want to try this as well, which was great. And I think the great thing with Julie is I think she does it like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times until she does get the effect.
Yep.
But that shows everyone as well. You're not going to get it right first time, so don't stress.
Yep. I did just see something that Tim popped up that said, you know, it's hard to watch everyone's videos and keep up with your own creations and life, which is true.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me personally, I just try to watch what I can, create when I know I have the time to create. I know other people are able to have their monitor or YouTube on like in front of them while they're creating as well. I don't have that opportunity to do that, but
no.
So, I mean, I'm not going to feel bad that I can't necessarily get to everyone's video. I would love to, I can't, but that's just the way that's how it is. And I think it's how it is for everyone.
Yeah.
So you watch what you can, who you want, when you can.
Yeah. And I think that's what people need to understand as well, is as much as I would love to sit here all day and just watch YouTube. I can't, I'm afraid. I've got a life outside of it, which is pretty full time. Then I've got this channel, which is pretty full time. So I'll jump in as many lives as I can. I can't remember the last time I managed to watch everybody's Froggy Friday or everybody's collaboration video. So literally, I'll probably watch a video in the morning for 20 minutes when I've done exercising, responding to comments and emails. And then I'll try and watch one in the evening. But that's all I've got time for, because then I need to create. I need to edit. I need to try and get more guests for these lives. It all takes time, you know, and I think that's what, as much as I'd love to, I don't want anybody to take it personally if I don't, because there's just not enough hours in the day. But the great thing is there's that much great content from everybody that I try, and I do try and subscribe to everybody's channel. But from everybody's content, it's always on my feed. So whenever I do get a day off work or something like that, I can sit there for 4 hours and binge watch. It's great.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. I work full time. My wife doesn't necessarily want to watch all the crafting YouTube videos. It's just not her thing. So I have to wait till she goes to sleep and then I can watch them, or I have to leave her in one room and I'll come off, and then I'm usually editing or making something. So yeah, it's late night and weekends is my opportunity to catch up.
Yeah.
But I still can't catch up to everybody then. So, sorry, I can't get to everybody, but I would love to, but I just can't.
And that's the thing. I mean, it's people don't realize until they start doing YouTube as well. A 30-minute video could easily take 2 to 3 hours of editing.
I've had to take 5 before.
5?
Yes.
Wow.
It was a lot of content I had to get rid of. It could have been just emptiness that I forgot I even had the camera recording, or it was.
One thing I've been playing with though, since you use CapCut, is the auto editing option when you transcribe it, which is free. So you can transcribe it, and then you can set, if there's more than, let's say, I think I set mine at 0.8 seconds. So if there's more than a 0.8 seconds where I'm not saying anything, it will automatically cut all of those.
Okay.
Which has saved me a lot of time. So if you're not utilizing that, I'll talk you through it because it might be worth you looking at.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look at that for sure.
It's one of the best features I found. So because again, normally if I'm doing a tutorial, if I'm not talking, I'm not doing much.
Yeah. Stirring.
So if it can auto cut it, it saves a lot of time. Lula's just saying in chat as well, so I will do a quick reminder as well. There's another collab happening as well as that one with me and the two Petras, which is the Jurassic one, which is coming up. I'm just trying to find the comments. Sorry. Lula, if you can put it back in comments, I'll leave it on screen. But there's a Jurassic collaboration coming up where anybody can get involved to celebrate Jurassic Park's 32nd anniversary and anything dinosaur related.
That was my T-Rex. You're welcome.
Well, apparently there's now a D-Rex in the new film.
A what?
I got told. A D-Rex.
Oh.
Yeah. A mutant T-Rex. There we go. July the 16th. So you've still got about a week to pour if you want to do something. I'm still thinking of what to do, but I've got a giant Jurassic World that I carved in wood outside. And it's out in the elements. So I don't know I'll probably have to sand it all down again. But I'm thinking it will look amazing just covered in resin. But I think it'd make a boring video because I've already carved it. But you never know. People might want to see it. So I might just do that as a quick one.
You could stain it.
Yeah. Well, it's already got a wood stain on. So I'm thinking about if I can do a different effect, maybe with EcoPore. Or Resincrete, as you cut that, or whatever it is. I use EcoPore and create like a rock-like texture underneath, and then put some, I don't know, dragon's eggs on the side, so it looks a bit like dinosaur eggs.
Yeah.
But that'll be a big project, so I need to get time to do it. There we go. Amy's saying it's fun getting to know you better, which is great. I think she's off, so bye, Amy, or Overlicious, as you've been nicknamed. But yeah, it's been, do you know what, with these lives, it's just about getting to know everyone. And that's the beauty of it. I see we've got Natalie in as well, who I think won a prize last night on Laura's live.
Yeah.
Congrats,
Nat.
But if anybody in the chat, we were talking about this earlier, and we were saying, nobody gives us ideas on what you want to see from your next videos. That would be really cool. If you could come up with some ideas that we can all focus on as creators and get loads of content out over the next few weeks. Yeah.
Like just comment on who you want to see do something. What do you want to see them do? Like if you want to see me do something in particular, send me a DM in Discord or comment on a video and be like, hey, I think it'd be really cool if you did this.
Yeah.
And,
is there something that you've seen that you haven't tried yet that you want to try?
That lace effect, but it's the fear. The same thing with the blooms. And I wish I was just a little bit more creative. I have a very logical mind. I'm trying to figure out how to turn creativity on a little bit more.
I need to see one of your dragons, apparently, because they're gorgeous, according to Lula.
My dragons.
Yeah. Have you got a dragon?
I did a couple a long time ago.
Ooh, maybe
Which
it was
dragons
those.
you talking about, Lula?
Lula, let us know which ones. But I love dragons. I've literally fallen in love with dragon molds, and I've got so many different ones now. I've got one that I'm really excited to try.
I'd love that Julie Cut's big one.
Which is a dragon claw.
Oh, nice.
The problem is, though, it's so narrow, I'm not going to be able to get much detail in there. So I'm still thinking about how to pour that. But the idea is to have the dragon claw and then have a dragon egg in the claw. And I think that'd look really cool. Yep. So, but I'll let you know if that one turns out.
Eco pour and paint it.
I could do. And actually, interestingly, I've been saying for weeks that I'm going to start painting again, because that's where my creative spark started when I was about 13. I used to be into Warhammer. And I think you've got it over there in the States as well, which is like little metal figurines that you can have battles with. But that was when I first got into it. And it's literally microscopic tiny brushes, and you're literally painting like this.
Yeah.
So I might start getting back into that again. But again, to do that on a YouTube video, some of those pieces took me like 20 hours of painting. I don't know how that would be a long video.
Yeah. Yep. Lula, is this what you're talking about? Like something like this guy?
Oh, I've got that mold. I've just done one of them.
I did a couple other little ones, but that's the one I had sitting that I knew where one was.
But again, there's so many dragon molds now, which is great. And it's which ones you get. So it's like I've got 2 different dragon head ones now, which are quite big heads, which are great. And I'm thinking about incorporating them with wood, and maybe carving a body for the actual head, so that it's got to come from my imagination.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
But again, I've got that many ideas and not enough hours in the day.
Wait, 1 second. I think I have another one up here. Oh yeah, I got this guy up here. I got this guy. Oh
wow, that's lovely. I love that.
Yeah.
It's like a futuristic dragon, that one.
The only problem with him is it's so many points. It's all the little.
Oh, thanks for that comment as well, Mer in the Mitten. Get into the resin world, become part of this community. We all help each other and keep on learning together and growing.
Would you like to know who Mare in the Mitten is?
I would.
That is my wife.
Oh, there we go. Hello.
Hey, Mare.
Supporting you in the chat. Well, in that case, she's definitely got to get involved in resin. There's no excuse.
She's more behind the scenes in the resin world.
Have you trained her to do your editing?
No, I need to do that.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Then you can just create and then pass the editing on. Perfect. So we were talking as well before the show a little bit about, I think you sold a few pieces as well. And I always get asked what sells, what doesn't sell, and things like that. So that might be quite interesting. What pieces do you find sort of sell?
So I don't have a store. This is just mostly friends and some people in my community. What do you call them? Pocket hugs. Those I have one buyer for those usually every year. And I have a couple friends that really like my keychains. And she's just getting into asking me to make some trays.
Okay.
Because of this one that I had posted.
Oh, wow.
It's just a UV DTF sticker, and then I put a UV resin with sparkle, and then this is Resincrete. But now she's asking me to do a big giant piece because she was asking for a larger tray. I'm like, well, this is the largest oval one I have. Yeah. So she wants this size with specific colors of dried flowers. So.
Well, it's interesting you say dry flowers. So yeah, I've got a video coming out I'm just trying to think now where I am on my videos in about 3 weeks, which is where I actually experimented with putting weeds into resin.
Yes.
And that turned out okay, But it made me go to the shop and buy some real flowers rather than weeds for the colours. So they are now dry. I haven't taken them out of the silica sand yet, but I'm looking forward to playing with those and hopefully getting like a floral arrangement in resin.
That'll be cool. I've not dried my own flowers. I buy them already dried. But maybe someday.
I might have to do that. Because it just, I think, well, they've been drying for a week now because some of them are quite big. I've got like roses in there and stuff like that. So it takes a week to dry. But I suppose when I do art, for me, if it's something like that, I like to know that I've done every step of the process, at least the first time.
Yeah.
But I saw a video the other day on YouTube, and it's only about a week old. And I think it's had something like 1.5 million views. And it's basically, I think the title is something like, "This Korean Man Makes Table with Real Flowers." And it's like my dream. That is what I want to be able to do. It's like this amazing piece of like burl wood with all these wonderful shapes in it. And then he's put it into like a table, put real flowers in it, and then filled it with resin. It looks stunning. So
sounds like fun.
I'm hoping to do something on a smaller scale this summer. I'm just trying to find the right piece of wood at the minute. And it sounds strange, but if I'm going to do it, I'm probably only going to do it once because it's going to stay in my living room. And I want it to be the right piece of wood that excites me, like some root wood or one of those maple burl pieces or something like that. But they're not that easy to get in the UK. You can get standard lumber, but I can't find the right slab of wood that I want yet.
Yeah.
So
that's hard. I don't know where to buy it here either. But
I think Lisa's trying to get your wife jealous there, saying that we love the wifey. But it's great, you know, and I think it's great that you've got that support there as well, because I think you often need a supportive partner when you do YouTube and resin. Yep. It helps.
It does
through the bad days. But no, I've been told to behave now by Lisa. See, the mods always tell me off. I think I need to change some mods. I think they just like telling me off. But no, I mean, what for you, technique wise, again, let's go back to sort of different techniques. You've obviously started doing mixed media and things like that with those trays.
Yep.
Is there a mixed media a technique or something like that you've not tried, or something that you've seen somebody do that you're like, I need to do that, but you just haven't yet?
I actually want to do both resin pour on canvas and acrylic paint pouring on canvas. I know a lot of people start that way and then move into resin.
Yeah.
I'm going the opposite way. I've done one paint pour piece. It was like about this big.
Yeah.
It was a disaster doing it. I did everything wrong, but it turned out nice in the end. So I'd like to get into that. And I do some watercolor stuff. I just haven't done it too much here recently.
Okay.
And my coloring with my alcohol markers. So, I mean, there's tons of art and creative things I still need to find and be told about.
Yeah.
To jump into them yet too. So it's
always
when I see somebody else do something and I'm like, oh, I want to do that.
My problem is it's often space as well. So
that's true, yeah. This
worktop behind me is the only space I have where it's reasonably dust free and things like that to do pours. So one of Lula's questions that I haven't asked yet is, what big project do you want to try? So that's an interesting question.
I want to try to make a resin table. Not a huge one, you know, like one of those round. I think you did one of those round ones.
One of the blue. Yeah, I did my 3D blooms in a round one.
3D bloom in that one. So yeah, I'd like to try one of those. I consider that big for me.
Yeah. Mine will be slightly bigger if I ever get around to it. So coffee table. But you see that space behind me on that wall?
Mm-hmm. Oh, your Phoenix?
That's going to be my next big project.
Oh.
So I've got a 4-foot metal sign, which is from my old days when I used to be into NFTs, and it's basically got NFTs printed on it, which I've kind of fallen out of love with because I found out that most of crypto's a scam. unless you invest in certain stable coins and things like that. But my plan is, if you see behind me,
Is it just me?
No, sorry, I just took you off so that people could see the logo in the background. But
Oh, okay, yeah.
the CCUK logo, all of those colours, I want to try and recreate those on a 4-foot sign and have that behind me for the lives.
Nice.
Whether it will look anything like it, I don't know, because resin will move the way it wants. I might be able to get the colours right, but it will definitely do what it wants.
Yeah. Use some alcohol ink in there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be difficult, but we'll see. Oh, okay. Another question. Lula, you're on it tonight. What would you love to make if money were no object?
A plane to take me wherever I wanted to go? No, that's a good question. I have not thought about that, but I would love to pick up some molds and shapes. The big oval tray, that's the what's the new edge called?
Oh, I know what you mean. It's not the cluster, is it?
It's not the live edge, but it's the new, like, kind of, I'm gonna call
I know
it
what you mean.
edge.
I've seen them.
I'll call it diamond edge.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I would love to get those molds, that big oval one and the bigger round ones, and just
Druzy, that's it.
yes,
Druzy edge.
Thank you, Lula. Yes, yeah, and really just play with those.
Yeah, definitely. For me, I would like to upgrade some of my molds, and that sounds a bit strange, but I've got some like standard really thin molds for like a big heart or a big hexagon or an arch. I would like to get some with the thicker silicone where they don't distort, but they're so expensive. They're about £70 each.
Yeah. I've got some little houses that are so thin, and one of them just bows out every time I poured it.
Tim's asking if you visited Nita's Fluid Works. She lives in Clio, Michigan, and she's a master river table queen.
I haven't. Tim, is she the one that works with Promise Epoxy?
Let us know, Tim.
Is she the one that has like the dreaded hair?
The dreaded hair?
Yeah, she's got like dreads and then has half of her.
Oh, I thought you meant dreadful. I was like, you can't say that.
Dreads.
Tim's saying yes, and so's Marva.
Okay, I know who she is, but I've not seen any of her stuff. And I know Promise Epoxy, their plant is in Kalamazoo. I just learned that.
Oh, wow.
Which is in Michigan.
Yeah. But no, I think big pieces, I see some big furniture makers that play with resin. They're not resin channels, but I look at their pieces and I'm in awe. And I'm like, that's what I would love to do. Just spend all of my day in a workshop coming out with one table. That's it. Yeah. That was 8 foot long, made from these trees that are hundreds of years old. Yeah. I think it's almost a privilege to work with wood when it's that old and that piece.
Sorry, I was just looking at Marva said she made a candy-filled toilet seat. It was unreal. Sorry, that's why I made a face.
That brings a whole new meaning to the word sweet cheeks.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, but there we go. Carrie's asking if anyone's in Ohio. I don't know if we've had anyone from Ohio yet.
I don't know. I travel to Cincinnati every now and then for family.
But no, I don't think. I don't think there's anybody in Ohio yet. But no, I think. Do you know what? I love seeing creative pieces as well. And the toilet seats. I've seen a couple of toilet seats done.
Yeah.
The great thing about that is they've got functionality. And I think I saw somebody put like fairy lights in it. And why you would want fairy lights on a toilet seat, I don't know.
You can see in the dark. You don't have to turn all the lights on.
Yeah, but you're still going to switch the main light on when you go into the bathroom, aren't you?
I don't know why.
It's like you're going to have a glowing derriere, as you'd call it in the States, with what's all lit up. And I'm like, right. I don't know why you'd want that.
Well, Marva did a steampunk one. That's cool.
Wow.
I need to go look that. Did you put that on YouTube, Marva? I need to look at that one.
I know Tim's done his whole bathroom in epoxy as well. That's when you know you've got a problem. Right, there's a wall. I'm going to throw epoxy at it and see what happens. But no, again, I think it's amazing what you can do with it when you start playing with it.
Oh, yeah. I've picked up a lot of rocks and pebbles and shells from our lakes around here, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron. And I would love to do like a big table or that round table with all of those, or some sort of cool bowl with some maybe driftwood pieces in it as well.
See, I live about 2.5 hours away from the nearest ocean. And I would love to be right next to a beach where there was all this lovely driftwood coming up, because there's so much you can do with it. And I think it's such a great art form to actually use it in different ways. And it looks amazing just the way it's been weathered by the sea or whatever it is. I think it's a stunning material. Yeah. And I'm being told off again by Lisa because I'm not letting her do her job properly, apparently. But McFufu's asking me if I've ever watched Blacktail Studio, and I have. I think it's a guy called Cam, and he's the one that inspired. Let me get it. Oh, my charcuterie board that I did. So I watched one of his videos where he did a giant table with this like burnt wood effect, which goes crackly like an alligator skin. And I thought, I need to try that. And I just got some really cheap CLS lumber and did the same thing and then put a wave on it. So yeah, he's brilliant. So if you don't watch him. He's entertaining. So sorry about that.
Yeah, I was just reading the comment from Lisa.
Oh, which one? Is she telling me off again?
Just let her do her job.
Yeah. Well, that's what I've got mods for, you see. They can tell me off. Glow in the dark, Lucy. There's an idea, Lula.
Oh, yeah.
Charges up in the day, and then at night it just glows green or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that would be funny. The chroma color that changes with heat, changes color with heat. If you did that on a toilet,
you just get an impression on the seat. But no, again, do you know what? With resin, that's the beauty of it. There's so many different products that come out all the time, and there's so many different experiments you can do. It's got so many different uses. Yep. Pretty much whatever you think you can do, you can. You just need to figure out a way to do it.
Yep, and I like doing functional things. I mean, I like doing little figures and stuff. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I love them. But I'm trying to gear myself more towards functional stuff. So when I finally get an online store set up, I'll have more functional things that seem to sell more around here.
Yeah, it makes sense though, because not everybody appreciates it as art. They want it to have a function. Lisa said, and she did say right at the start, to be fair, and I forgot to say, but Lisa said you rock. And I forgot to say that at the start. So just there in big letters, Lisa is telling you that you rock, Sandy.
I've got a heart on here somewhere. Or apparently it's back here. There's a heart for you.
I know Diane. I know Nick Zamatti as well. He's great. He's got a much bigger workshop than me, and he's got a lathe. That is one day I will have that size workshop with a lathe and be able to do some bigger experiments like he does. But he's great to watch as well. He's great entertainment.
I'm afraid I'd chop my hands off or fingertips off working with wood.
Well, I didn't know till the other week. Wendy's got a lathe. I didn't even know that she had a lathe, Wendy from Toonfish. Yep. And then there she was on a lathe. I'm like, wow, I need to get a lathe.
Yeah. I don't even have a little tiny table saw. So.
Well, honestly, outside. So when I first started doing my resin, I did it all outdoors. I've got a little outbuilding, which most social housing houses in the UK had back in the day. And it's literally 5 foot long by about 3 foot wide. And that's it. And that's where I used to do it all. And it's everything was crammed in. So I've got like a little tiny bandsaw in there. I've got my carving Dremels and stuff like that set up in there. There just wasn't enough room to then do resin in there as well. And as soon as it got cold, resin really struggles, I think, to cure properly and give you the right effects when it's cold.
Yep.
Although I've heard a rumor, and I'm not going to say anything else, that there may be something coming out in the next 6 to 12 months that might solve that problem.
Oh, interesting.
I'm not going to say who by either, but it'll be interesting. But yeah, I think I really
have to keep our eyes open.
Yeah, definitely. Well, as soon as it does happen, I'll let everybody know. Is all I'll say. Yeah. But there's somebody that's actually thought about, I suppose, creating something that will stop that problem. So we'll see. But yeah, so many people, I think, in resin are interested in woodcraft as well, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And when I started this channel, it was both.
Yeah.
But I don't get time to carve anymore.
You're too busy making balloons.
Yeah, pretty much.
My grandfather taught me how to whittle when I was little.
Oh, wow. Yeah, whittle with a little knife.
Yeah.
I
don't have that skill anymore, but I would do it when I was little.
I've always done it with power carving. So with like Dremels and things like that. Oh, yeah. And it's exactly the same process. You're taking material away to hopefully create the design that you want. Olga's saying she wants to see me do something with wood again. Okay, I'll give you guys a bit of a sneak preview of what is to come over the next few months. So I've been saying this for weeks that I want to start getting back into my wood and combining it with resin. So I'm building a mold this weekend to enable me, hopefully, to put wood and resin into a block and then carve. So that's a project that I really want to do. I want to do something like a sea creature, a whale or something like that, where it's half wood and half resin. And to me, that will just symbolize my passion for both in one piece. So, but that's going to take a while. Don't get too excited. It's going to be at the end of the summer by the time it's done.
Yeah.
And there's going to be resin flying everywhere in that video and wood. So that'll be interesting to watch, I hope.
Oh, so you want the whale to be both itself, not like a block with a whale in it?
No, I want it to be combined. So it's kind of going to be intermixing. And what's made me determined to do it is I got home from work 2 weeks ago on a Friday, and it'd been quite windy in the UK, and I've got a plum tree in the garden, and one of the branches just literally snapped off. So I had to go and get my chainsaw out and chop it properly, and it half died inside the branch. But I thought, do you know what? Even now it's all snapped and looks horrible. I thought that's too beautiful to just let it go to waste. So I'm going to build like a box. I'm going to encase it in something so the resin won't leak. I'm going to put that in a block and then fill it with something like deep pour resin and then carve the block is the plan.
Nice.
But it'll be a big project.
But we'll have to wait until, what, August, you say?
I think, where are we now? So we're at the start of July. Weather permitting, if we get nice weather over the next few weeks, the wood should be dry enough for me to use. And then I don't use laser cutters, Stormy. I do it all by hand. I would love a laser cutter, but they're so expensive, the good ones. But yeah, the plan is hopefully to set it end of July in the resin. I think it will take a week or so to cure before I dare take it out, and then probably another week or two to carve it. So it should be exciting.
Got to get on that.
I have, and that's just one of the many big projects that are in my head that I still need to actually create.
Yeah.
But just to pre-warn everyone, we've been over an hour. It's been an hour and 10 minutes, so you've already had more time than you should. So this is your last warning for any questions. I won't be doing another live after this live tonight, I promise, because I need to catch up on some sleep. But don't forget as well, if anybody hasn't been on a live that wants to come on a live, let me know, drop me an email and we'll get you on, because it's great to learn more about the different channels. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Sandy over at Two Fat Birds Creative. And if you can, make sure you subscribe to me as well, and then we can all grow together. Olga, you will definitely be here to see that, and I know what you mean, but you will be here. I have faith that you will. So Hopefully I'll make that, and I'll put something in the description so you don't miss it as well. But yeah, so any last questions? Last chance.
I want to say I also want a laser cutter, the X tool, and a 3D printer too. I see those going in the chat. Me too. Me too.
Me too. But I think last time I looked at the X tools, I think they're about £1,500, which is a lot of money.
Yeah. Even the little ones.
By the way, if X tool if they're watching this and they want to send me one to do a review on,
right?
I'm your man. You can send me one.
Your products.
Yeah, definitely. But no, they are amazing what you can do. And again, it opens up a lot more possibilities. So it's like with my woodworking, I could quite easily make that into a bit of a business and just laser people's logos in.
Yeah.
People don't like the hand effect if you do it by hand because it's not perfect. And if you're doing it for like, I don't know, I think you call them realtors in the States. So estate agents, we call them in the UK. Yeah. They're quite popular. I know where they want like chopping boards with perhaps their logo on for when they sell a house. Mm-hmm. But if you did that by hand, it would look good, but it wouldn't be perfect. And that's where lasers really come into their own.
That's true. Yeah. Yep. But your talking made me think that someday I would love to do like in a block of resin, like a cherry blossom branch.
Yeah.
With all the little blossoms coming out of it.
You would probably have to dry. I did that in a frog not long ago. And if you did that, you would probably have to dry the blossoms separately.
Yeah.
And then UV them back on.
Yep.
Otherwise, it won't work.
Yeah. They'll disintegrate or they'll mold or.
Andy, you can request to be a rep. Okay. I don't think I'm at that size yet where they're going to send me a £1,500 laser, but I can ask, I suppose. Again, there's no harm in asking. I'll tell you what. I will commit to you guys that I'll reach out to X Tools and ask them if they want me to do a review on their laser. And if they do, I'll let you know.
There you go.
That would have to go outdoors, though, because I know they let off quite a lot of fumes.
They do have those air filters.
Yeah, I've seen those.
That you can have go out. If you're near a window, you can have it go out through the window.
Yeah, everyone's saying
thank you to those I've not actually met who are here and saying nice to meet me and thank you. I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you everyone as well, because these
everyone
lives
that is on here in general.
They're getting more popular every week. We're getting more regular people in as well, and it's great meeting new people. Hopefully that's going to continue as they keep growing as well. And from next year, there's going to be 2 of these a week.
Oh.
And that's because everybody that's been on is going to come back 12 months later, and we're going to see where their channel is at that point. And I think you'll be well over 2,000 by that point.
I hope. We can dream.
Once you get past that 1,000, you start growing quicker.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's just because you get more traction.
Yeah. And it's really just the consistency, being consistent in posting.
Well, I don't know if you watched the first live that I did, but that was basically just me with no guests. So that was a bit weird. But that was all about, that was the moment when I started growing. It was when I was consistent. Prior to that, I'd had this YouTube channel for about 4 years and done nothing. Posted one video every couple of months as a hobby. Yeah. And I got no views pretty much. And then as soon as I started doing it consistently, week in, week out, 2 videos a week, that's when I started to see the growth.
Yep. Likewise.
Yeah. See you later, Tim. I hope your singing carries on being amazing. And don't forget, we need to get you and Sandy doing a duet on a video. Maybe I could send you both an invite to the live and you could do a duet on a live.
Or we can record our separate pieces and then have somebody combine them.
Yeah, maybe. That's an idea. Or maybe we could do a Christmas special duet. I'll tell you what, I bet everybody would download it.
Maybe.
But yeah, I think we're about there. I don't think we've missed any questions. So massive thank you to everyone who's been here as well. Really appreciate each and every one of you. don't forget, if you want to come on one of these shows as well, all you need to do is drop me an email. It's in the description. And I'm just seeing who we've got on next week because I think there's been a bit of movement. So give me 1 second and I'll let you know who we've got next week. There we go. So next week we have got, in fact, yes, we have had some movement. So next week we've got Laura from Laura's Art Corner, who a lot of you know in the States, because she swapped with Tammy from Epoxy Me That, who's going to be on the week after. So again, it's going to be exciting getting to know everyone, but thank you everyone for being here. Enjoy the rest of your evenings. Keep supporting each other. And I'll see you all on the next one.
Bye.
See you later.
Thanks, everyone.